This is Datzhott News. If you like our content, subscribe and follow us on social media at Datzhott. Now, here's the tea. It was a weekend like no other for Russell Simmons, once one of the most influential figures in hip-hop, and now facing numerous accusations of sexual misconduct. On Father's Day weekend, his woes seemed to worsen when his ex-wife and daughter took to social media to accuse him of verbal abuse and air out the family's strife. The situation began when Kimora Lee Simmons, who was married to Simmons from 1998 to 2006, shared a series of Instagram stories detailing his alleged abuse. "No one should live like this. No one's child," she wrote on her Instagram story, paired with a screenshot of text messages their daughter Aoki sent her father. "You are putting so much anger and rage on me every phone call. Cursing, screaming, and God knows what else," one of the texts read. In another Instagram post, Kimora stated, "This is how you maneuver with the world and women all around you. Your threats and lies and intimidation maneuvers and tactics are sad. Stop it, please." The exes have been embroiled in lawsuits as well. USA Today reached out to Russell Simmons for comment, and he wrote he was deeply sorry for being frustrated and yelling in a subsequent Instagram post. Simmons has been accused of sexual misconduct by more than a dozen women. His critics note that the mogul's actions have been more than verbal. In some cases, accusations go back decades. Over the years, conflicting reports have emerged about whether Simmons and Kimora Lee began a relationship when Lee was underage. Lee has remained silent about it, with Simmons defending himself a few times. But journalist Toure says Lee was just a teenager when he met her, noting that he was at a lunch in the Hamptons with about 8 to 9 people. It was a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, and Kimora was there. She barely spoke, if at all. She was 16, and she was around a group of 20 and 30-somethings, he said in an interview with Vlad TV in 2018. Simmons has insisted he did not start dating Lee until she was of legal age, but Toure says that's not true. "There's some bickering about whether she was 16 or 17, he adds. "I remember being introduced to her and being told that she was 16. Even if she was 17, what are we talking about here? You, Russell, were in your 30s. Even if we concede 17, what's really the difference?" The allegations against Simmons were the subject of a 2020 HBO documentary, On the Record. The film follows one of Simmons's accusers, ex-Def Jam executive Drew Dixon, in late 2017, as she makes the difficult choice to come forward with sexual misconduct allegations in the New York Times. In the Times story, she alleges that Simmons, her then-boss at Def Jam Recordings, raped her in his Manhattan apartment in 1995 when she was 24. Dixon is one of more than a dozen women who have accused Simmons of sexual misconduct, with some of the reported incidents occurring as early as 1983. Simmons has denied the allegations, and in 2019 released a statement on Instagram claiming that all of the allegations made against me in the recent documentary, On the Record, are false. The statement also said Simmons had made the decision to step down from my companies and commit myself to continuing my personal growth, spiritual learning, and above all, to listening. Simmons' statement and his ex-wife and daughter's accusations came as the music mogul was already facing extreme scrutiny and legal issues, including a $10 million defamation lawsuit filed against him by screenwriter Jenny Lumet. Lumet had accused Simmons of sexually assaulting her in 1991 in an open letter posted on The Hollywood Reporter's website. Simmons released a statement denying the accusation, claiming that the two had a brief consensual encounter. The Simmons family feud continues to be the subject of scrutiny and debate, with many wondering whether the accusations of verbal abuse and the allegations from multiple women, including intimidation, unwelcome advances, and sexual assaults, will lead to further investigations against Russell Simmons. Regardless of legal repercussions, it's clear that the accusations against Simmons are not only numerous, but also come from varying sources with different stories. Some report his behavior as simply uncomfortable, while others denote a pattern of predatory behavior going back decades. With each allegation comes more evidence in support of a systemic problem within Hollywood culture where powerful men take advantage of their positions to abuse women and get away with it for far too long without consequence. These allegations have been met largely by silence before now. However, This moment provides an opportunity for cultural change as more implications pile up through the accumulation media coverage surrounding these events, finally allowing victims like Dixon something recognizable on which they can rest their own case. Validation from other survivors' experiences echoing similar injustice at the hands another person who oughtn't be held in such high regard anymore, yet greedily remains untouchable until recently surfacing revelations become impossible enough. Deny so society may force accountability onto him instead would otherwise go unclaimed or unsupported. What weakly, non-existent help is available those whose voices still desperately need heard, lest continue suppressed amongst ongoing emotional torment no longer untold? Why should anybody unfortunately wronged endlessly suffer doing whatever wrongfully done them there? Acknowledging difference time sadly does make, whence working towards righting imbalance perpetrated societal abandonment always generate unprecedented disorientation. On top, personal anguish already took place concerning current trend baseless behaviors, keeping falsely accused, undoubtedly separate, thereby increasing chances, upcoming convictions coming forth additionally, inviting countless juried testimonies, accumulate corroborate misdeeds, detailed statistics assembled providing added assurance, understanding gravity situation, allow plethora witnesses needed, strengthen grounds necessary, collectively strive solidarity, ensure future abuses power no longer get away with impunity. With this new wave of attention, voices are joining together to seek justice and create a better environment for potential victims and those already affected. Platforms such as Instagram and Twitter offer support with hashtags that unify survivors worldwide in expressing their experiences with Russell Simmons, creating awareness and solidarity against him. The collective purpose is strengthened by members vowing loyalty to each other, showing the power in numbers and courage in standing up despite adversity. This bond provides virtually protective forces for those facing the same turmoil. Fortitude prevails over ignorance, unified uplift having an undeniable strong impact on vulnerable individuals to ultimately thrive. Taboos are replaced by safety solutions, resolving perpetual grievances and bringing closure with triumphant resolution. Whatever happens, bravery will ultimately deem us worthy of fairness, reinstating our innate strength to become successful. It is a glorious testimony that we must persist fearlessly on behalf of those unable to speak out, focusing empowered protection and affirmation for a righteous cause. Somebody needs inspired vindication to take place righteously, with hope returning through good nature and trust at its core, so the absolute strength can compel ultimate decency, not just looking at the bigger picture, but understanding the deeper meaning once assimilated properly, leveraging a gain otherwise risked being lost forever in restoring dignity piece by piece at its deepest.
So I woke up this morning with a very disturbing message on my phone from, it seems as though one of my baby daddies has a little problem.
I did also want to come on here and say that I can't, between a lot of people who are close to him and who have experienced how he has, just lashed out at anyone he can and completely changed the person that he is. A lot of us feel like maybe something's wrong, like mentally, I don't know. He's older, I don't know, but he has completely changed. I will come on here and talk about whatever I want because it's my life and I'm the one suffering. So, he has completely changed. The couple texts I just had, those are only the beginning. I'm gonna go through them if he's gonna, I don't want to post a ton. But if he tries to say that, it's not happening, I have screen recordings, I have voice memos of things that it doesn't sound like a human being. He's shrieking and yelling and, he sounds like possessed. So, I will say, I'm not even sure if it's to his credit, but the best explanation I have is something mental going on, because I used to be very close to my dad. He used to be a good co-parent, close with my mom, my stepdad. He was his godfather to my little brothers. We all went on vacation together every year, very close, well after the divorce. Everyone was really happy. When he had business ventures, my mom would invest in them. Like, good friends. He'd come stay with us. Like, we'd come stay there. We'd, like, all the time. Everyone together. And then really, he suddenly just decided that, like, if we don't agree, it's, oh, you're all bitches like your mother. I hate you. All these fucking bitches are the same. Oh, my... I mean, he's just a different person. He has, like, looked me in the eye, and I've been like, I need help. I was in Greece doing a camp, and I was like, you cut off my debit card. I only got, like, couple $100 a month as a minor, and I was like, I'm in a foreign country, and my debit card won't work. I can't even add money to it. Can you help me? And he was just like, no, I sure hope that you don't die on the streets of Thessaloniki. And I was like, no, like, I'm really stranded out here. I need help. And he's like, well, maybe you should ask your mother not to sue me. And I'm like, you're suing her. And he's like, well, maybe when you bitches decide you're gonna, like, be reasonable, I'll help you. And I'm like, this is unsafe. It's nighttime. What? You cut me off out of nowhere. And he did it, like, on purpose. He was like, oh, enjoy camp. I put, like, you're good to go. I put money on your card. And then he cut it off when I landed. So I'd be stranded. My mom helped me. It was fun. Worse things have happened. I'm just saying, he'll, like, look me in the eye and be like, well, maybe when you bitches decide to, like, threatening me. So I felt that was important to include, because if we do continue to get into it, and some of the things that I post are going to look crazy, and I agree, they're crazy, and it would honestly make me feel better if something was severely wrong, because this is just not the father that I know, or the father that I've had. You know, like, to this day, I would never let a man talk any kind of way to me, because my dad was always good to me, and then he just completely changed. So I just want to include that it could be that, and I don't know his mental situation, but, like, he used to do kind of crazy stuff, and then say he had COVID, so we'd all call him, or if we'd say, hey, I need some space, because all you do is tell me how awful I am, and how I have my mom's awful, shitty, bitch-ass cunt genetics. So, hey, like, I'm in school, and can you not harass me when I'm in school? He wasn't paying for school, by the way.
Oh, hi, Wolfie. Are you going with them?
No, I'm good over here.
Okay, I love you. So I woke up this morning to some disheartening messages from one of my baby daddies. Now, those of you that know me, many of you here have known me for 176 years. I'm a single mom of 5 kids, and I have 3 baby daddies. 3. I said it, 1, 2, 3. So one of them, Muscle Women's, is seeming to be a little bit upset because my oldest daughter, who's 23, about to be 24, a whole ass adult, posted a message to me that said, Happy Father's Day. And I reposted that, and he was, I guess, upset. I don't really know. He posted a message, a cryptic message that said, you know, something about, don't ask the dads why they're not with their kids. Ask the moms why they couldn't be there, why they weren't allowed. So I took that as a situation, because many people sent that to me. And I've noticed that he sends other messages too that are like, talking about brainwashing and stuff and of kids and all of this. I would just like to say, and I hate to do all this, but when you come for me, like, ding dong, I'm there, up out of my bed. I'm here to give it all of it to you that you wanted, sir. So I would just like to say my 2 girls, and Aoki Lee feels the same way, even whether she posted it or not. My 2 girls just recently graduated from college. Aoki graduated from Harvard University. She's one of the youngest students, certainly young women of color, to graduate from there at 20 at such a young age in probably most of recent history. We can go back together and see exactly when that was, but she's one of them. My other daughter, who's 23, about to be 24, also a whole ass adult, Ming, just graduated from NYU. It was very, very tough. I know you moms know this, and dads, and you, all the family members. It's not like one graduation, it's like 10. It's a different group. It's a different this, it's a different that. I went to New York for NYU. Congratulations to all the NYU graduates. I saw so many of my friends, I haven't seen in forever that have like kids my age, my kids' age, and they're my age. So I saw so many people. I saw models from back in the day. That one girl, Anna Gitana, came from Ethiopia. I mean, I saw people from all over. So shout out to everybody in New York. I did the same in Boston with Aoki at Harvard. My mom was there. She's an immigrant. She's Korean Japanese. We were just super emotionally taken over by, all of this and the accomplishments of all of our kids. And I say all of our kids because I talk to so many parents here, and a lot of people, everybody probably watching here knows me. So we've been through this together with my kids, with your kids, with everybody's kids. So some people who were noticeably absent was their dad. And Mr. Simmons. And so I noticed then, as soon as we started posting our graduation pictures and all these things, he starts to post on his Instagram. People send it to me because he's blocked by all my children and myself. He's blocked. We don't engage with him. We don't talk to him. We haven't spoken to him in many months, many months, probably going on years. But I noticed that he started to cryptically post children of divorced parents are oftentimes brainwashed. And I thought, wow, and people really, probably start to believe that in the world, social media, I don't know. People take sides. We all know that. People don't know what they see. You can show them something like this and they're like, I don't know if that was a hand. I don't know what that was. We're not sure, right? You don't know what you see or what you don't see. But I noticed that I got a lot of comments from that. Again, these are all comments and reports because he's blocked. And that's been that way for a while. Also funny to note that he has been blocked for quite a very long time, but yet continues to post messages like, we're friends, we're comrades, we're there. He posts all old pictures of my kids. Basically, in my opinion, my humble opinion, he's, I don't know, delusional and living some kind of a lie, to put it mildly. Again, people know me. You guys know me. Some of you have never met me. You've grown up with me. You've seen my shows. You've seen my work. You wear my clothes. Others of you know me very well. You know me personally. You know my kids. You know my exes. You know the dads. A lot of people here know both of us, and they know he's wrong. All the friends have said, this is wrong. This is crazy. We don't understand it. But they still support him. I feel like it's one of those things where he's just like a bigger than life kind of, powerhouse, and so he just kind of turns and manipulates the press and people and to believe anything, like gaslighting, like that didn't happen. I didn't do that to you. I didn't do those things to you. I didn't, you're imagining things. How many countless women have said this, have been told this, I should say, or would say this to you? Myself and my two girls who are adults included. You guys didn't just start to see my kids. We didn't just go through a divorce. We went through this divorce, I don't know, 20 years ago, 20 some odd years ago. So this is not a situation, again, you can get receipts, you can go see where they say like, oh, kids been brainwashed, but we've been fine up until these past several years. So, what happened? All of a sudden now the kids are brainwashed. All of a sudden now these young women who are grown women are babies. They have their own relationship with you. You have your own not existent relationship with them. I'm just asking that you please leave us alone. I've tried to go to lawyers and get help. I've tried to show all the crazy texts I've had to block. Like, you do crazy shit like send flowers to yourself and take a picture and post it on the gram and tell everybody I sent you flowers. Again, I have receipts of all of this. I have receipts from your office saying that you sent flowers to yourself without my permission. I have all of this. You guys have never seen it because it just doesn't warrant, it doesn't rise to that occasion. I mind my own business. Please don't attack my children. They've been through so much. Don't attack my family, which is supposed to be your family too. Don't do that because you're at rock bottom. I don't know. Hypothetically, you're at rock bottom.
Time has come for Hollywood in general to be sensitive to the plight that they have put women in over these years, and they should change dramatically their relationships and their practices. And they are changing.
The latest powerful man brought down by allegations of sexual misconduct, music mogul Russell Simmons. There he is. And he is stepping down from his companies after a second woman spoke out. Amy, you've got the details.
That's right. And this new allegation comes from a screenwriter. She says Simmons offered her a ride back home in 1991, but they wound up at his place, where she says she was coerced into having sex. This morning, music mogul Russell Simmons stepping away from his businesses amid allegations of sexual misconduct. Simmons, known as the CEO of hip-hop after starting Def Jam Records in the 80s, and producing and starring in reality television.
The show you told me over the phone?
Yeah, Rock Chicks.
Under fire after screenwriter Jenny Lumet, who wrote The Mummy.
You saw that, right?
And whose father is director Sidney Lumet, shared her account of a 1991 encounter with Simmons, saying he offered her a ride home before the car doors locked, and he allegedly took her to his own apartment where they had a sexual encounter that she says was non-consensual. Lumet writing, "I didn't know if the situation would turn violent. I remember thinking that I must be crazy. I remember hoping that the Russell I knew would return at any moment." Simmons releasing a statement in response saying, "While her memory of that evening is very different from mine, it is now clear to me that her feelings of fear and intimidation are real. While I have never been violent, I have been thoughtless and insensitive in some of my relationships over many decades, and I sincerely apologize." The allegations coming after model Keri Claussen Khalighi told the LA Times about a 1991 encounter with Simmons and film director Brett Ratner.
Keri Claussen Khalighi alleges they went out to dinner, and afterwards she was invited to go back to Simmons's residence in New York to watch a music video. She alleges that Russell Simmons sexually assaulted her, and when she asked Brett Ratner for help to intervene, he did not do so. Russell Simmons has denied these accusations.
Ratner's attorney has also reportedly denied the allegation. In recent years, Simmons often spoke about his spiritual journey, as he told Dan Harris last year.
Oh, yeah, good karmic work is very critical. I mean, give others what you want for yourself. You should give the happiness, the freedom, the opportunity that you want for yourself to others.
What are my thoughts on Russell Simmons? Well, remember when I said this?
While in a very important man's office talking about working together. Have we ever fucked? No. Oh, right, because I would remember that, right?
So that very important person's office I was in who said that to me, that was Russell Simmons. So that's my thoughts on that.
Like, I've known you, and everybody knows. Again, that's documented. You can see. I believe I was maybe a sophomore.
You and Russell Simmons go way back.
We do. We do.
Now, I guess you had talked about you were with Russell when he was with Kimora when she was 16?
I was at a lunch in the Hamptons with maybe about 8-9 people. And yeah, it was a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. And yeah, Kimora was there. She barely spoke, if at all, but she was 16 and she was around a group of 20 and 30-somethings.
The Cinderella of fairy tale fame wears magnificent clothes, is touched by magic, and has to be home by midnight or else. Cinderella in real life is Kimora Perkins, a 15-year-old high school student. She lives in St. Louis, but the world is her pumpkin, and she shares it with us in today's Inside Story. She's only 15 years old and is the toast of the international high fashion world. And this gorgeous 6-foot-tall model leads a double life. Part of the time, she's that real-life Cinderella who dresses up for the ball. But back home in St. Louis, Missouri, she's 10th grade student Kimora Perkins.
The gorgeous gown, it's easy to get wrapped up in it, but no, it didn't overtake me. because I knew I still had to take off the gown and come home and go back to school, so it was easy to keep my feet on the ground.
Kimora spends 12 weeks out of the school year away from home, working in Europe and New York for the likes of Chanel and Yves Saint Laurent. Although she won't turn 16 until next May, she's remarkably mature and says that she's able to keep her distance from the darker undersides of her seemingly glamorous profession.
But, look, there's some bickering about was she 16 or 17. I remember being introduced to her and being told that she was 16. Even if she was only 17, what are we talking about here? You were in your 30s, and she's either that's the point. Is it, was she 16 or 17? I don't really, even if we concede 17, like, what's really the difference?
I know it was before junior prom and senior prom because I went to both of those proms alone with my friends when I was dating them. So it was definitely long before junior and senior prom. I think it was around sophomore year of high school. And again, everybody knows this in my life. They know I was walking around, they see me. The point of it is, I've known you a long time and I've seen lots of stuff, and I just choose to not go there. Lots of things that I could say over the time. I'm typically the one that he and others would call to have their back.
Your child, your household, what goes on in your home, what kind of shit are you running? That's your baby daddy.
Yeah.
Whether you're with or not, you cannot allow this kind of disrespect.
But, I'm always the one that kind of puts out the fire. I'm also the one that always runs to the defense of all my friends. So if you see any other women, certainly women that I've come up with, certainly women that are mothers of my other of my kids that I love, I come to their defense. So if they're down and out or something's wrong, yeah, you're always going to see Kimora, big mouth me, running up to the gate, running up to help. And you know why? It's because I feel like I'm the one that can't be bowled over. Some of these other people